Hey, I'm going to show you in a very long video how to make $13 per hour using DoorDash. Stay tuned, like, share, comment, and save. That's all. So let's break down a typical day, and since today is the 20th, see that confirmation. This is my total pay right here. This is the week, and I'm going to show you that it's Saturday right there. See up there, Saturday, March 20th, 128. Okay, let's break down Saturday, March 20th. All right, so here it is explained to you. All right. Let me make sure I'm recording because I'm not going to start over if I'm not. Okay. All right, so we made $13 today, and that doesn't seem like a lot, right? But let me break it down to you. You can see that I started dashing at 9:30. I round the times off, 9:30. I ended it at 10:30. So what does that mean? We dashed for actively 1 hour. So in 1 hour we made $13, and when you compare that to minimum wage, which is about $11 to $12, $13 is a dollar profit. When you also factor in the fact that I only did 4 deliveries, that is also very easy work. Like, we went to 4 places and it took us an hour and we made $13. So if you want to bring math into this, if you do 13 times 8, you'll see that I'm making quite good money a day. Now I'm gonna pause it and get my calculator and I'll tell you what that is. Hold on. Okay, so back like 2 seconds later, 13 times 8 is $104. Okay, so since I'm writing with my finger for this app, I can't write clearly and I don't feel like trying. You know, you can hear me too. So $104 is what I would make in 8 hours of work. 8 hours of work times 5 days a week if you choose to work 5 days a week. So 8 times 5. Yes, I could do this basic math if I wanted to. Do I feel like it? No. So 8 times 5, 40. I'm sorry, am I doing that math correctly? Hold on for a second. You make $13 an hour, and you make, how much did I say? I meant to do, it was 140, wasn't it? Hold on. Hold on, I'll probably edit out all my stupidity. Okay, so brain befumbling aside, you make 13 times 8, and then that's 104, and then you work 5 days a week. So you get paid $104 for 5 days. That's $520. 520 times 4 weeks, because it's 4 weeks in a month, is $2,080. So you make $2,080 a month. And if you times that towards your yearly earnings, then that is $24,960 a year that you make. So that is pretty good money. Sorry I didn't use the pen to show you, but you can hear me. That's pretty good money, and that's not even an average day. I'm also going to break down some other stuff that you should know. Keep in mind that I've only recently started dashing. You can see when I started. I'll show you. But when you factor in that I only worked an hour and I made $13 and I only did 4 deliveries, that is pretty easy, fast money. Now I'll tell you about distance and all that stuff at the end of the video. You can see what I average for these deliveries, and I'm gonna break this down for you too, because I be seeing so many people make videos, no offense to them, complaining about tips and stuff. So I'll tell you my 2 cents on tips in case you're interested in trying this. Gas mileage and all that plays a factor too, but we'll talk about that later. So factoring in my 4 deliveries, this is what I averaged: $2.50 a delivery. See, a lot of people be saying don't take the low deliveries, but I'm averaging $13 an hour on these low deliveries. Also, you can see that you can see that I did not receive any tips for any of these deliveries except one, and that one brought my base pay to $6. See that $6? So yeah, I got a $3 tip for this. Customer tipped $3. Um, See that down there, $3 and $3 base pay. So basically, I'm gonna break it down to you. Average delivery was about $2.50, and I received a $3 tip. Okay, so this is only for deliveries. Now, as far as mileage and stuff, again, I'll break that down later in the video, but it factored itself out. A lot of people be like, don't take those smaller deliveries because they don't pay no money. But in the time it takes, I find it worth it to take these smaller orders. And it would be nice to get a tip for your hard work. I also sometimes tell customers, like, could you at least rate me, rate, give me 5 stars. If you don't tip me, give me 5 stars, because your acceptance rate and all that stuff goes through the roof when you get 5-star ratings. And since I get the meal there usually on time and everything, I expect people to, show a little consideration for how I bust my butt to get your meal there hot and stuff. It's nice to get a tip. As always, like if you work as a waitress, you can't just say, okay, I delivered your food, made sure you got it fast and everything. It's optional, is what I'm saying. Which means, would a person like a tip? Yes, sir, Bob, we would, okay. But do you have to tip? No. I'm never going to be a dasher that makes it about the tips. The tips can rack you up some extra cash. Imagine I got $1 tip on each of these, and I did 4 deliveries. That would be $4 extra, which would bring my pay to $17 an hour. Imagine if I got a $5 or even a $3 tip. 3, 6, 9, 12. That's $12 extra plus the 13 for a total of what? 20 even? No, wait. 30, I think. Let me see. 30, yeah. So, I think 30, yeah. 17 and 13, yeah. So, or rather 15 and 13. I forgot what I said. Memory issues, dyslexia, all this other stuff, none of your business. The point is, round it off yourself and you will see how tips can improve. If we do, some basic math, 13 and 12 is 20, is 30. Isn't it? 25, I think. $25. Sorry about my mess ups with math, okay? I'm tired and I have other issues, but whatever with that. The point is, it brings your pay to more decent, but they are optional, $1 extra can improve your pay. $3, $4 extra can improve your pay. So I can see why people be so greedy with tips, but they aren't necessary. Like if he hadn't tipped me $3 at this Olympia Coney Island, I would have just made $10 an hour, which is basic, So I can see it's not basic. That's minimum wage, So I can see why people can get upset if they bust their butt and don't receive a tip. But let's move on because I'm rambling. It's only been 11 minutes. Let's move on. I'm going to break down all of these days that you see at the bottom and show you the average pay that I get. Okay. So now we're about to break down Friday, March 19th. You can see that I started and stopped several times. Let me get the pen so I can direct your eyes to the right attention. The March 19th. These are the earnings over here. This is the day, March 19th, yesterday basically. I was quite busy. I'll show you how long I dashed, and then I'll show you March 15th, and we'll average it out what I make on a daily basis and for how long and stuff. Okay, so let's move on. Let's click the first dash. Okay, so here I made $6 when I first dashed. I'm going to show you the total time. So don't forget, this is not the total time. Okay, please don't forget that this is not the total time. This is just part of March 19th. This isn't my total earnings for March 19th. This is only for the one dash. See this right here, delivery 1. Okay, because I had some problems and I had to stop. But my first delivery started at 9:12 in the morning and ended at 9:48. So you can see that I dashed for 17 minutes. Active time was 17 minutes. I don't ever go by dash time because that's just how long your dash was awake. Active time is how long you were doing deliveries. So I always go active time and don't bother about dash time. That's just so they algorithms can see how long it takes you to pick up a delivery, and like say it says there's a dash available, take it or not. They use that to factor your acceptance rate and all that other stuff. Anyways, active time is what I go by, and my active time for this one delivery was 17 minutes and I made $6. So I think that's pretty good. You can see that I did receive a tip. Base pay was $3. Excuse me again. And then customer tip was $3 for a total of $6. Okay, I'm also tell you something else that you should know if you really want to make the big cash during DoorDash. But that was the first, so don't forget about that $6. Okay, moving on to the second part. This is the same day. I just started and stopped my dashes because I had stuff to do and it would be longer than a half hour, so I couldn't pause it. So I have to start and stop. This was $23 for the same day, which is March 19th. Okay, we started at, let's just say 3 o'clock because I like to round it off, and we ended at 5 o'clock. So the total time dashing 2 hours. Again, don't go by dash time. You can in this case because it factored the same, but I always go by active time, which is 2 hours, and this time the dash time matches up, so it's fine. Guess how many deliveries I usually average? 4. I don't know why that is, but 4 is like my magic number. I only dashed for 2 hours and I made $23. So if you divide 23 by 4, let's see, I think I make I don't even know how to factor that. I'm trying to see, because for 2 hours you make like what, $12 an hour, 12.24, 25 cents more would have been $24. So yeah, I'd say I made $12 an hour for this dash, and this was only 2 hours. And today I made $13 an hour. Today, the 20th, I made $13 an hour. Yesterday, the 19th, I made $12 an hour. So keep that in mind. We're averaging $12 and $13 an hour, and this is pretty good money. Keep in mind, I only dashed for 2 hours and I made $23. I only dashed for 1 hour and I made $13. Okay, so keep that in mind. If I had did full time 8 hours, we'd be in the money for the week, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, so I did 4 deliveries because I don't want to run this video forever. And you can see we did get some tips, but we got something else that helped us make the money like this. And this was something called Peak Pay. Keep an eye on that. Peak Pay pays between $1 to $3 extra for each delivery. So you can see I made $4 for these deliveries, one for each delivery. Peak Pay is when it's really busy and they really, really need drivers and they pay extra. So Peak Pay is important. I'm not going to say only look out for Peak Pay, because today I didn't have any Peak Pay. I worked for an hour and I still made $13 an hour. Yesterday, I worked with Peak Pay and I made, $12 an hour. So it can still round out taking them small deliveries. Okay. So yeah, so don't think because you get a delivery that says $9 and they have you drive 20 minutes away, you could have did 4 small deliveries. And usually with these smaller deliveries, they come in pairs. Like you can see right here, 2 Wendy's. Okay. Those came in pairs. So that was an easy $8 right there, because they go on right around the corner from each other when you drop them off. So that's easy money. And then you can see I had a Chipotle $10, but it took me like 10 minutes or so. Not too long, but I don't really remember how long. It took me a minute, but it was worth it because they paid $6 for this. Whenever they offer to pay you a large base pay, keep in mind you about to do some driving, okay? They ain't paying you that for nothing. That means you going at least 6 miles or further, okay? The Little Caesar base pay was $3, which means you ain't going far. It's right around the corner, and you keep picking these small deliveries and do quite well on them. And I also cleaned up because, again, Peak Pay. Let's talk about tips again, since it's always so important to people. As you can see, the only one who tipped was Mr. Chipotle, $3. But I also we got $3 in tips, $4 for the base pay, and then we got our 275 or 225 basic driving pay, or it varies in all of these. Base pay for all of these was different, but we worked for 2 hours, so that's $7 extra right there to our pay. So I'm getting tired of explaining, so I'm gonna try to hurry this up. But basically, I'll sum up what I'm trying to say at the end of the video. But what I'm trying to say in this scenario is that my experience is taking them orders that come, like the $2 orders and stuff, they add up. Because you'll see that yesterday I averaged $12, and today I averaged $13 an hour. Okay. And tips are never going to be that good, but they're always nice. So if you are somebody who uses DoorDash and you want to just show your appreciation, I recommend doing that. Now let's work on the next March. This is the last one for the Marches one. This is the same day, March 19th, Friday, yesterday, and I made $23.75. We dashed this time for, again, we started dashing at, and just in case you're curious about start time, we started at 3, ended at 5 again. Is this that same order? It is. My bad. I clicked the wrong one. My bad. I thought I clicked the 23 one. My big old fingers. Okay. It can't be the same one, is it? Oh, okay. That was the same one. My bad. This one is the same day. Friday, March 19th. $27. We started dashing at 11:36, so let's say 11:30. Ended at 1:30. I always try a 2-hour window so I can go use the restroom and take breaks. Breaks are important. Just like if you work an 8-hour job, they give you a half-hour break. You should take a break, eat, relax, get something to drink, use the restroom. Don't push yourself too hard to the point where you get burnt out and say, I quit. Also scheduling, I'll tell you about that later though. But we dash for an hour and a half. See that active time? I never keep dash time. Dash time is just how long you have the app open. Keep that in mind. From the time you push start dashing to the time you push stop dashing or end dash, that's your dash time. So I was only actively dashing, picking up orders for an hour and a half, hour 33 minutes. But I had the app open for 2 hours. I obviously always I also wanted to say, that 4 deliveries seems to be my miracle number, because 4 deliveries is what I average. Okay, before my 2 hours is up. 4 deliveries for every 2 hours. And during that 2 hours, I usually make $12 an hour. So it's very easy work. Okay, so moving down to deliveries. Wendy's seems to be our favorite place. Now today tips were pretty good, so I'm going to tell you about tips today. On this day, yesterday, Wendy's these went to, I picked these up at the same time. 2 Wendy's. You can see that one was paying $10. This one was paying $5.50. $10.50 and $5.50 is $16 even for just this one dash. Just this one dash. Plus, what happened here was, if you want to break it down, base pay was $2.50 for each. Then we got a $3 peak pay. That peak pay is important. That peak pay is when, what helps you rack up the money. And then I also got a nice little $5 tip from this guy. This one didn't tip, but again, I don't ever care about tips, okay? It's nice to get them, but they're not important. But we made $10.50 just for this one delivery, and it took me about 15 minutes. I'm not exactly sure. I can't tell you because I didn't factor in my distance and stuff. But yeah, okay. So I'm gonna tell you what I averaged an hour on this day. The 2 Wendy's, and then we had a cheesecake place. Again, I received peak pay but no tip. I'm not gonna underline it because I don't feel like it. Wingstop, and I got no tip, but I got peak pay. Peak pay on this day was really good because we were dashing during peak pay hours. And you can see again that I get $3 for each peak pay. So add that up, 3, 6, 9, 12. That's $12 for each delivery, and we did 4 deliveries. So yeah, that's $12. That's $12 added on to our total in tips, not in tips, in peak pay. And then you got the $2.50 to $2.50, that's $5. And then you got the $2.50, that's $7. And then add on the 3, 4, $10. So you got your 12 plus your 10. And then we also received a nice $5, $3 tip, which is another $8. Okay, so together we have $30 even, or just under $30. 27 $27 was made in 2 hours. So if you, or an hour and a half in this case, because we only worked for an hour and a half. See that active time, hour and a half. So this day, to make it easier, we're gonna go with the 2 hours because I don't feel like rounding it off. So let me see, that would be 12, 24, 13, 26. Let's go with $13 an hour for this day. And remember, today we made $13 an hour. So yeah, we averaged 13, 12, and $13 an hour. So since we averaged 13, 13, and 12, we're going to say that we averaged $13 an hour. $13 an hour is what I make during DoorDash. So basically, if you want to know what I make during DoorDash, $13 an hour. And I also work about 4 hours each day. So my total pay ain't none of your business, but you can see my total pay for this week was $132. Okay, so let's break this down. You don't need to see the one for the 15th, but if you're really curious, I'll show it to you really quickly. Just because I don't want people to think that I'm lying and stuff. Okay, so this was the 15th of March, my first time dashing. $62 was made. I started at 10, ended at 1. We dashed for 2 hours. I always go with that active time, not that dash time. I was dashing for 3 hours, sorry. And this was a slow day. We did 8 deliveries. It was my first time dashing. We made $62. I'm getting better at it. But we received quite a lot of money in tips and stuff. $2 tip, $5 tip, $4 tip, $3 tip, $3 again, no tip here, $3, $10, $5. So, base pay was $2, and we also got that peak pay. That peak pay be important, like for real. And so $62 in 3 hours. Let's round it off to 3 hours because it's easier for me. $62 in 3 hours can be divided. We gotta divide 3 by 62. I don't know if it's possible to do that. I'll be back when I do the math because this video running long. Hold on. Because you can't divide 62 into 3 evenly, I divided 60 by 3. So we made $20 an hour on this one. 60 divided by 3 is 20. So we made $20 an hour, and we worked for 2.5 hours. So that is 2, 4, 6. So that evens right out. So $62. Imagine if I had worked for 8 hours this day. It would have slowed down though, but still. $20 an hour, $13 an hour. So when you factor that we made 13, 12, 13, and 20, our average would be somewhere around $15 an hour for DoorDash. But since I don't like, because this was one of the best days where peak pay was high. You see that peak pay 3. All them peak pays is what got me so much money. See that? Peak pay, peak pay, peak pay, peak pay. Okay, that's why I said peak pay is important, but it's not. You can still average even without it. You make your real money on the peak pay and on the tips, but you can't rely on the tips. So if you really want to rely on collecting, DoorDash during the extra peak pay, $3. However, they're not always active during peak pay, so don't just say, if it ain't peak, I ain't working. If it ain't a high tip, I ain't working. You won't make nothing like that. I'm just saying. Anyways, though, so when you factor in that I made 13, 12, 13, and 20, we're going to average off at about $15 an hour. But since this one at 20 was with the tips, I'm going to keep on saying that we made about $13 to $14 an hour for DoorDash. And I DoorDash usually about 2 to 4 hours. This was the one day where I did 8 deliveries. Keep that in mind, which is why I made more than the other days where I only did 4. So $13 an hour or $13 to $14 an hour is what I average on DoorDash. $13 to $14 an hour. Now I'm going to break it down for my full week. I basically just did that, but this is my total earnings for the week. $132.50. The total I made using DoorDash alone was $88.50. And then I also made on customer tips $44. Guess how much I made? And I just told you, but I'm saying active time 8 hours. In 8 hours, I made $132.50. You can go with your dash time too because your gas be running. But I go with my active time only. So active time was 8 hours. I'm rounding it off because it was 7 hours and 40 minutes. But this is for the week. For the week, I have dashed for 8 hours. I have made $13 an hour, and I have made a total of $132.50. $44 in tips, $88 with DoorDash alone. And we have only did a total of 21 deliveries. In the 8 hours that we have worked, we have done 21 deliveries. Let me say that again, because I'm just trying to tell people that say you can't make money like this on not taking. People be like, decline now, do the decline now. Okay, keep doing your decline now and making nothing, because you can't make money like that. But in the time it take you to do a $10 order, I could do 6 or 7 of the regular orders, save my gas and my mileage on my car, and make money like this. Now, most people might say that's not a lot of money, but keep in mind, I have only worked for 8 hours. That's one day. That's 1 day's of work. A full-time job is 8 hours a day, right? Unless you do overtime. So for dash time, 8 hours for me. Active hours, 7 hours, 40 minutes. In 8 hours, I just made $132. So if you want to break down the math, and I know y'all love to do that, $132 times 8. We're going to round it off to about 120. I'm going to give or take a little, because it varies. 120 times 8 is 960. So if I work every day like this, every week like this, let's say I average 130 a week, 132 a week. 132 a week times 4 is $528. Now that's not a lot, but keep in mind, in one day's worth of time, I made 132. 130 is what we're going to say. 130 in 8 hours. So let's say on an average day, I make about $100 an hour. $100 is 5 days a week. So if you average $100 a day, and it's 5 days a week, 100 times 5 is $500. 500 times 4 days a week, 5 days a week, is $3,000 is your average. I think I'm doing that wrong. Hold up. 100 times, hold on, give me a second. 100, you make 100 a day, and it's 5 days a week. So 100, that's $500. And it's 4 weeks. So 4 weeks is $2,000. You make $2,000 a month. 2,000 times 12 is 24,000 a year. And that factors back into what we say. That's good money. You making $2,000 a month. When you factor in your rent and all your other little bills, you will still have a lot of money to put up and save, and even more money to spend if you want to spend. So $13 an hour is really good money. For the week, I've only worked 8 hours, and I've made $132. I can show you last week too, so you can average it out. I don't really want to do that, but I guess don't mind that December stuff. That wasn't mine. But if you want to know what I made last week, when this is $111. Again, I'm gonna break it down for you. That might not seem a lot, but when you factor in my hours, active time, 5 hours, 4.5 hours, 4 hours, 37 minutes, 4.5 hours, or 5 hours if you want to round it off. 5 hours, 13 deliveries, $111.50. $73 from DoorDash alone, $38 in tips. Okay, I'm not going to show you my dashes because I don't feel like it. Just know that I did 13 dashes, and that I only worked for 4 hours. 5 hours if you want to round it off. And I made $111. That means I didn't even work a full week. You can see the days I worked down here. March 11th, March 13th, and March 13th. March 11th and March 13th. 2 days, worked 4 hours, averaged 111. One day you did the 33 and the 33 for about a 70, and then the 41. If you want to see the times for those specific dashes, I guess I could show you that, since y'all are some curious Nancy's. Hour and a half for this one, $33. Tips was really good. I don't feel like showing you that. You can briefly see them, pause the video. Hour for this one, 4 deliveries. Tips was really good, or something. Peak pay. $41 for this one. Four, I told you 4 is my magic number. You see that 4 over there under deliveries? So yeah, 2 hours. So total of 5 hours, $111. If you are enthusiastic, I don't want that decline now stuff. I'm just telling you. So my pay for this week is a total of 8 hours of work for $132. My total last week was $111. You can see that down there for March. Don't be all up in my business though, because it ain't none of yours. But I'm just saying. I had something else I wanted to show you, and I'll show it to you in a minute. Okay, so I wanted to briefly show you my ratings. I got a contract violation, 5-star average rating, 90% acceptance rate, 93% completion rate, 75% on-time deliveries. I rarely turn down deliveries unless it's like a long drive-through or something like that. Total lifetime deliveries 53, so I haven't even averaged my 200 or my 100 average yet. Just wanted to show you my ratings. Here they are in case you were curious. I plan on getting my on-time deliveries up a little better. Don't mind that contract violation. A customer gave the wrong address. It's nothing important. There you go. At the next part of this video, I will be showing you, keep in mind it is long, an average daily route for about an hour. I might show that and I might not. If the video ends, then you know that I didn't show it. Enjoy.